Welcome back to News Across Nigeria. Edo State have not been excluded from preparations for the Christmas season. Before we continue with that story, all our top stories can be found on our website, channelstv.com, and on youtube.com/channelsweb. Just to remind you, visit m.channelstv.com to view us live on your mobile device. You can also download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS, and Windows phones from their respective stores. We'd also like to urge you to please interact with the Eyewitness feature in the Channels TV app on the Android, iOS, and Windows platforms. If you have pictures or videos you would like to share with us, tap the app on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu, and follow the instructions. Now in the South in Edo State, residents have also been preparing for the celebrations. Our correspondent in Edo State went to town to feel the pulse of the people on the price of commodities and transportation. Take a look.
Benin City, a transit town to the east, west and northern Nigeria, is experiencing heavy traffic this Yuletide. While the motorists find the rehabilitated Benin-Ore road a big relief, the Benin-Abuja route, however, is considered a nightmare.
Yeah, as regards to the roads, the journey from Lagos up to Ore was very, very hectic. And as if the government was not prepared for the volume of traffic on the road by this time of the year. Then from Ore down to Benin, you can see, at least it's freer.
The situation is further compounded by the ongoing fuel scarcity.
In the big majors, they sell at the normal price of 87, but in the private filling stations is where you get 140 per litre, 130, and some even 150 and 160. While intra-city fares remain unchanged, many commercial vehicles have been pulled off the road as they queue for hours to get fuel.
The business is not going fine because there is queue everywhere.
Even the banking system is not left out. In the markets, traders say they are recording very low patronage compared to last year. Prices of food items and other products have increased significantly.
Last year, most people do come in groups, meeting different bodies. They do come, they will buy and go back. Now, some will just come, I need a bag, or they shared money. When things get better, I will buy rice. Some just come for one bag, have bag. Compared to last year, you see one person come to buy 5 bags, or maybe some group of persons.
Despite the prevailing circumstances, Benin City and indeed Edo State is all hustle and bustle as the people are determined to celebrate the Christmas in style.
Away from the Christmas celebrations for now and the end of year situation in the country, we come to the southwest where Lagos State Governor Mr. Ambode is advocating for an increase in the welfare and support for officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces for protecting the territorial integrity of the nation and keeping the country united. Governor Ambode made the appeal while launching the 2016 Armed Forces Remembrance Day emblem at Lagos House in Marina. The governor emphasized the need for all citizens to appreciate the gallant fallen heroes through donations for the welfare and upkeep of the families they left behind, especially widows and children. He added that the appreciation was imperative, particularly in this period that the nation is faced with the challenges of insecurity, insurgency in some parts of the country.
As we speak, officers and men of the Nigerian Armed Forces are on the battlefield. They have continued to demonstrate bravery, courage, and valor in order to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of our nation. They do this on our behalf, that we may continue to live in peace and security. As we flag off this Remembrance Week celebration with the emblem appeal launch, I urge you all, especially our corporate organizations, to donate generously to this noble cause in recognition of the sacrifices of our fallen heroes. Today, we make a clarion call to all citizens to demonstrate our appreciation of the efforts of these gallant fallen heroes through donations for the welfare and upkeep of the families they left behind. especially their widows and children. We must continue to acknowledge and show appreciation, not only for what has been done in the past, but also to assure those that are still in active service that their efforts and sacrifices will not be in vain.
Lagos State Governor Akinwumi Ambode to the South and Cross River State, where the governor there, Ben Ayade, has eulogized one-time deputy governor of the state, the late Dr. Matthias Ofoboche, as an illustrious son who fought throughout the lifetime of the creation of Ogoja. Governor Ayade described him as an exemplary leader whose wealth of experience will continue to stand the test of time, even in death. He enjoined all serving leaders in various capacities to strive towards excellence in the discharge of their constitutional responsibilities for the sake of posterity. The governor made the comments at the Yala local government area of Cross River State, where the remains of the late Matthias Ofoboche were laid to rest.
Was ordained by God, and God took him just at the right time. To that extent, I ask all my brothers and sisters who have come from far and wide to thank God for his life and to use this opportunity to have a rethink of our own very lives. That as we hold various positions of opportunities, let us recognize that one day a time like this will come, and at such fullness of time, we shall account for our life. I take an advantage of this position to also review my own life and to say I will dedicate and become strengthened by his death to remain more focused on people-centered agenda, to drive policies and programs that focus on humanity.
That is the governor of Cross River State, Ben Ayade. Now, the Court of Appeal, Bukar Division, has upheld the election of Ifeanyi Okowa of Delta State as governor in a unanimous judgment in two appeals filed by Chief Great Ogboru of the Labour Party and Ortega Emeho of the All Progressives Congress, APC, which were dismissed, the appellate court said, for lack of merit and substance. The panel, headed by Justice Uwani Abaji, dismissed the petitions on the grounds that the appellants failed at the lower tribunal to prove the allegations of corruption, malpractice, and irregularity beyond reasonable doubt as required by law. The appellate court held that although the appellants in their petitions alleged overvoting at the trial of their petition, they failed to produce the voter register to substantiate their claim. The appellants had, in their petitions, alleged that the election of Governor Okowa of the People's Democratic Party was invalid because it was characterized by various irregularity and non-compliance with the Electoral Act. They urged the court to declare null and void the election because the collation sheet was dated April 11th, whereas the collation was done on April 12th, alleging that the collation was done before the election was conducted. The court, however, said it is incumbent on the petitioners to tender necessary documents and demonstrate the same to prove their allegations, but that in this case they failed to tender any document to do so as required by law. And now, the Ondo State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, says it has seized over 113,000 kilograms of cannabis sativa and 500 grams of cocaine between January and December 2015. Briefing newsmen at the command headquarters of the agency in Akure, the state commandant, Mohammed Salkoto, said 21 cannabis farmlands covering 323 acres were destroyed during that period. Meanwhile, in Anambra State, the NDLEA has arrested over 50 suspected drug traffickers, charged them to court, and secured 13 convictions over the last 6 weeks.
They look like bags of fertilizer, but they are not. These are bags of cannabis and cocaine.
That we have about 4 to 5 area commands. And in all of these area commands, we have already institutionalized motorized patrol operations. So nook and crannies will be cordoned and will be patrolled within the period.
The command also revealed that 21 cannabis farmlands covering 323 acres were destroyed, debunking rumors that some officers connive with drug dealers.
If you have any information that will assist us in investigating any officer, any area officer. Please, you are free to come forward and give us such information. We assure you of your confidentiality, and we will prosecute such officer before the court of law.
It's a similar story in Anambra State, where bags of cannabis were also seized and suspects charged to court. The commandant laments the activities of the drug traffickers in the state.
The command is working around the clock to ensure that criminals are taken off the streets and kept where they belong. Equally, we also want to say here that this Christmas period will make it so difficult for those who are involved in illicit drug activities here in Anambra State. As you are aware, we raided some joints on Saturday in Onitsha, and they were dislodged. It's going to be a continuous exercise until we make it so difficult and impossible for them to continue to do their stock in trade.
While the various commands are devising means of dealing with the traffickers, it is also appealing to members of the public to always cooperate by giving them information that will help in winning the war against drug trafficking.
You're watching news across Nigeria. Still to come in the southwest, the National Emergency Management Agency collaborates with the Federal Road Safety Commission to launch a program called Operation Eagle Eye. We'll tell you what that entails when we come back. Please stay with us.